Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel guys. Thank you for joining me in this live section. Guys, if you're new to this channel, do well to hit that subscribe button, like and share this video as well. So guys, in today's live section, we're talking about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Yes, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has, filed or petitioned NBA and is demanding for sanction of some judges. So the petition filed by Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the Indigenous People of Biafra, against three senior judges of Nigerian Judiciary, guys, is demanding that they sanction, some judges. In this live section, you're going to be doing the names of those judges. So stay with me as I have a lot to share with you guys. And guys, remember I said if you're new to this channel, do well to hit that subscribe button. Also like and share this video as well. So this petition is not just another legal drama. It is a direct challenge to the credibility of the Nigerian justice system and a call to the Nigerian Bar Association, to rise and defend the souls of the legal profession. So guys, I have a lot to share with you guys in this live section. Yes, Kanu is demanding a sanction on Binta Nyako, saying that they have failed. Hey guys, you're gonna know more. In fact, Kanu will expose a lot of things. So stay tuned and watch the end of this live section. So for those who may not know Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, of course all of you might know him. Yes, in fact, obviously you guys know him. You know how he was detained since June 2021 after his controversial extradition from Kenya, an act many international observers has already described as an illegal extraordinary retention. Since then, he has faced multiple legal battles before the Nigerian courts, presided over the judges. He was presided by Nigerian judges, Binta Nyako of the Federal High Court in Abuja, and appellate judges like Justice Tsunami. I don't know how to pronounce this one's name. I think his name is Haruna Tsammani and Garba Lawal. These are the judges, that presided over Kanu's case before Omotosho, Justice Omotosho. But according to Kanu, these judges have committed what he described a gross judicial misconduct. He described it as a gross judicial misconduct. And in a bold move, he has now petitioned the Nigerian Bar Association, which is currently holding its annual general conference in Enugu, demanding sanctions against these, judges. So he's saying that, they sanctioned Nyako and other three, Binta Nyako and other three judges who are under two more judges who presided over Kanu's case. So according to Kanu, he said that these judges violated legal procedures. He said one thing they did was, violation of legal procedures. Kanu argues that the judges used civil procedures to undermine criminal law in his trial. This, he insists, is a fundamental violation of the legal norms and a dangerous precedent for all Nigerians. This is what Kanu said. Therefore, he said these judges must be sanctioned, and also said that, I'm actually looking about what Kanu is accusing the judges of. This is what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is accusing the judges of. The one is violation of legal procedures. Kanu argues that the judges use civil procedures to undermine criminal law in his trial. This, he insists that is a fundamental violation of legal norms of a dangerous precedent for all Nigerians. And also, another thing he's accusing these judges of is, reintroduction of repealed laws. You guys know that they tried Kanu under dead laws, laws that doesn't exist again. They were, reintroducing the law in Kanu's trial, which Kanu said it's illegal. He also Kanu also argued that, he also alleged that the judiciary allowed him to be tried under laws that has already been repealed, laws that are dead. In plain language, this actually means that, the laws are already dead, they doesn't exist again. So they are using it to prosecute him. Imagine using laws that doesn't exist again to prosecute someone, to try someone. Guys, this would be a scandalous abuse of power. You see why Kanu is demanding that they sanction these judges, because, they committed to, will I say, in fact, it's an abomination. So what they did was an abomination. Imagine trying someone with dead laws. Someone is going to court and you're trying him, prosecuting him under law that doesn't exist again. Kanu is saying that, these lawyers, both Binta Nyako, should be sanctioned. Another thing Kanu is accusing these judges of is adoption and illegal detention. Kanu insists that no Nigerian citizen should ever be detained through adoption. Imagine someone that's adopted, you still detained him. You see the atrocities. I actually call this an atrocity. I just call this atrocity. Imagine you did not go after the person that adopted him. After you went after the victim. You see why Kanu is demanding that they sanction these lawyers. Adoption and illegal detention. Kanu insists that no Nigerian citizen should ever be detained through adoption, as happened to him in Kenya, nor subjected to trial based on procedures that contradict Nigeria's constitutional provision. Now, in case you're still arguing if Kanu was adopted or not, or if he's this, now let me play a video where the lawyer explained everything in details. In what these Kenya officials, but what Nigerian government did to them, did to Kanu. Take a look. This his lawyer explained everything, to tell you that truly Kanu was truly adopted. Take a look, guys.
Anyways, taking you back a few steps, the little military invasion of 2017. So today I'm wearing two hats. I'm speaking on behalf of Nnamdi Kanu. I'm also speaking on my own behalf. My name is Haruna Tsammani. I'm the special counsel to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and the Indigenous People of Biafra. And I'm speaking to you from a location in Nigeria. The man, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, is well known. He's everywhere. He's on Wikipedia. He's an internationally acclaimed freedom fighter. But there's just a few things I need to tell you about him. What brought him to limelight was the formation of the Indigenous People of Biafra in the United Kingdom in 2012. Simultaneously, he also founded Radio Biafra. And these two organizations were aimed at one thing: liberation for the people of Biafra, or restoration of the former Republic of Biafra that went defunct in 1970. The right to self-determination is a right that is guaranteed internationally, domestically, and continentally. It's within the black letters of Nigerian law at Article 20 of the African Charter on Human and People's Rights. The right to self-determination is guaranteed. So the formation of IPOB did not break any law. Not laws of the United Kingdom, not international law, not Nigerian law. But guess what? When Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, who was born in Nigeria, but who acquired British citizenship later on, came to Nigeria in October 2015, the government of President Muhammadu Buhari, which had come to power in May, decided to arrest him. He was not arrested between 2012 and 2015 because the government of the day at that time understood that self-determination is not a crime. But the government that came into power in 2015 in May decided that self-determination is going to be treated as a criminal activity. So he was arrested in Lagos. He was charged for treason, also for insulting the president and illegal importation of radio equipment. 3 charges. The treason one, they split it into 2, treason by himself and treason by conspiracy. This thing went on from 2015 until April 2017, when he was eventually granted bail. So he was detained for nearly 18 months. After granting him bail, he returned to his ancestral home in the southeastern part of Nigeria, and he was enjoying his bail when suddenly, between 10 September and 14 September 2017, the Nigerian army, without any justification whatsoever, levied lethal, massive military operations against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's ancestral home. That day, he was sitting at home with so many people, his family members, including his 2 elderly parents. The attack was lightning, it was a bleakage, it was massive, and it was not the type of an attack you will expect a national military force to levy on a civilian location. But they did. At the end of the day, 28 people lost their lives. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu sustained injuries. His parents sustained injuries as well. But somehow, by the grace of God, they all managed to escape. From there, the rest is history. And because there was a national and international manhunt for him by the security forces, which rules of engagement was to shoot, not to maim. If you see Nnamdi Kanu, if you encounter him anywhere, shoot not to maim. Not to maim, but shoot to kill. That's what they went there to do on 10 September, but they didn't succeed. But it went on. They went on in a manhunt. So Nnamdi Kanu was forced to flee the municipal boundaries of Nigeria in search of safe haven overseas. Eventually, in May 2021, he settled in Kenya. He entered Nairobi and settled in Kenya somewhere. He never knew that Nigerian security forces, the international branch of it, were laying in wait for him. They laid an ambush for him. So on 19th June 2021, he drove himself to Jomo Kenyatta International Airport on a personal errand. As soon as he drove into the parking lot and alighted from his vehicle, several well-armed security men suspected to be of a mixture of Nigerian and Kenyan security forces swooped on him, grabbed him, abducted him, and put him forcibly in a vehicle and drove away. Well, they didn't take him to the police station. They didn't take him to immigration because he was a foreigner. He should have been taken to immigration. They didn't take him to any official law enforcement facility. They took him to a secret location in Nairobi, a non-official secret location. So in effect, they disappeared him. And they kept him at that secret location for a whole 8 days. And those 8 days he endured horrendous torture. All these are matters of record between the various tribunals and courts before whom this matter has been brought. I cannot begin to give you all the details. Horrendous torture in violation of basic human rights, in violation of the laws of Kenya, Nigeria, and the international community. When Nnamdi Kanu was abducted on 19th June 2021, the proper thing that should have been done is to take him to a police station, from there to a court. And then if you wanted him back in Nigeria, you subject him to what is called extradition proceedings. This is a basic tenet of the law that you see in the laws of any nation. Kenya has an extradition act to which Mazi Nnamdi Kanu should have been subjected. But guess what? They didn't do that. They rather disappeared him for 8 days, tortured him to their heart's content. And on 27th June, they secretly brought him out from this location and took him through the back doors, evading Kenyan immigration, direct to the tarmac of Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, Nairobi, where a private plane was waiting. They bundled him into the plane, chained him to the chair, and everything. He endured 5-6 hours flight from Nairobi to Kenya in the most excruciating circumstances. They arrived in Nigeria late in the evening and the plane flew back to Nairobi. They took him to the headquarters of the National Intelligence Agency in Abuja, where he spent the first night with all the lights left on to assure his maximum discomfort. The following day, they transferred him to the headquarters of Directorate of State Security in Abuja. And on the third day, they brought him before the Federal High Court in Abuja. The Federal High Court was well aware that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has counsel of record. It was an open case, it wasn't a new case, a pre-existing case. But the Federal High Court decided to conduct the arraignment in violation of his constitutional right to counsel, and that arraignment led to the indefinite detention with which we are struggling today. Anyways, Taking you back a few steps, the little military invasion of 2017 was not unrequited, judicially speaking. I took the matter before two tribunals, or a tribunal and a court. First, I took it to the African Commission on Human and People's Rights, which rendered a decision in March 2018 condemning the action and calling it a violation of the African Charter. And they wrote to the President of Nigeria, they wrote a letter to the President of Nigeria requesting him or directing him. They used diplomatic language, but the decision was there that what you did is wrong, so you need to roll it back. You need to reverse everything you have done, which includes declaration of IPOB as a terrorist organization and hounding their members as criminals. The African Commission held that what Nigerian government was doing was persecution, not prosecution. That the IPOB and its members simply possess an inconvenient political opinion which the Nigerian government was seeking to suppress by means of punishment of some sort. And they asked or directed Nigerian government to reverse itself. Nigerian government never did. Rather, it escalated. Well, subsequently, I went to a local court, a high court in Abia State in eastern Nigeria. I sued the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the Nigerian Army, and other parties who were Confederates in that attack of September 2017. And in January 2022, fortunately for us, we won. The High Court made an order. The High Court reached a judgment that what happened to Nnamdi Kanu in September 2017 was a flagrant violation of his constitutional right to life and constitutional right to his privacy. And the court proceeded to make an order ordering the federal government of Nigeria, or Federal Republic of Nigeria, to pay him a compensation of 1 billion Nigerian naira, which is over $1 million US. The court also ordered the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the President of Nigeria to issue a public apology to be published in 3 national Nigerian newspapers to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. None of this has happened. So we kept that aside. So when they brought Mazi Nnamdi Kanu forcibly from Kenya without extradition proceedings, I characterized it an act of extraordinary rendition. Initially, there was a misunderstanding, a broad, widespread misunderstanding by vast majorities of Nigerians who were mouthing the cliche, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu extradited from Kenya. No, that was wrong. It wasn't. I told people it wasn't. It was extraordinarily renditioned or rendered, and that is against international law, Kenyan law, and laws of the Federation of Nigeria. So while his criminal trial was making its way slowly at Abuja, with all the several amendments the government was bringing, they walked away from treasonable felony, insulting the president, importation of radio equipment, and bam, to terrorism. That's how it happened. And they did this 7 times. 7 amendments. If Nnamdi Kanu was guilty, why is it taking so long to bring him to trial between 2015 and today? That is 8 years. So what he's undergoing is not really a judicial trial. It's a trial by ordeal. Trial by fire. Imprisonment before conviction. They just want to get as many years of jail time out of him as possible, because they know that with the evidence available, conviction will be impossible. And that was made worse by the extraordinary rendition, which I took also as a civil violation to a federal high court in Nigeria. And in October 2022, the Federal High Court came down with a judgment that extraordinary rendition was a violation of his constitutional rights, his fundamental rights, and they awarded him 500 million Nigerian naira. That's about $800,000. So all around, everywhere that this matter has gone to, including in July 2022, before the Human Rights Council at the United Nations, the Human Rights Council, United Nations, came down with an opinion that what happened to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in Kenya and that brought him to Nigeria is a very grave violation of international law. And they directed that he should be released unconditionally. And of course, the Court of Appeal in Nigeria did come down with a similar judgment in same October 2022, discharging Mazi Nnamdi Kanu of all charges and bearing any further trial of his person in any court in Nigeria as a consequence, as a direct consequence of the extraordinary rendition. So what more can you ask for a man to deserve his freedom? How many have I counted? United Nations, which in this case should be considered a world court. Then you have the Nigerian Court of Appeal, which is the second highest court in the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Then you have the Federal High Court, which is the court of first instance at the federal level. And of course, you have the State High Court that awarded him $1 billion Nigerian naira. So between 2015 and today, 8 years and running, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has snagged 4 major victories against the Federal Republic of Nigeria, with Federal Republic of Nigeria winning nothing. What more do you need as stark evidence, affirmative evidence that what is happening here, ladies and gentlemen, is an act of persecution, not prosecution? It's time to end it. On his behalf, I will ask all men and women of goodwill everywhere in the world to speak up. There was this saying about Jews. When they came for the Jew, you said nothing. When they came for the Jew, you said nothing because you're a trade unionist. Then when they came for the trade unionist, you said, well, I'm a scientist. You said nothing. They took the Jew, they took the trade unionist. And then when they came for the scientists, nobody spoke for you. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is a poster boy for all the injustices that a great race, the Igbo people, and their cousins in the former eastern Nigeria have been subjected to since the founding of Nigeria. These injustices became more public because since 2015 they have been escalated. So how do you fight back? You fight back by telling the system, I want out. I want my own country is not a crime. It does not require a bullet. It doesn't require muscular military law enforcement. What it requires is sitting across the table and talking about it. A lot of nations have been founded on referendum. That's what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and the Indigenous People of Biafra were asking for. That led to all this conundrum, to all this saga.
So guys, you heard what Kanu's lawyer said. Now, he has done justice to that. He has explained everything that transpired in Kenya, everything that happened, even in Kanu's home in Abia State, how military men came to his house and, started buying his family members. It led to the death of 27 people in his house, guys. And it led to the death of the parents 2 years after. So you can see his lawyer has explained everything. So if you're still arguing if Kanu was adopted or not, see, that video is for you. You can go back and watch it, guys. Kanu was truly adopted. adopted and is against the law. Why would they go and adopt him? So Kanu is now arguing today that, that these three judges that kept him, that is trying him when he was adopted, he's saying that they should sanction them. He said Kanu insists that no Nigerian citizen should ever be detained through adoption. Yes, should ever be detained through adoption. This is what Kanu is saying, and then he's demanding for sanction of two lawyers, including Binta Nyako. Guys, Kanu is arguing that these judges use civil procedures to undermine criminal law in his trial. This is, he insists that this is a fundamental violation of legal norms and a dangerous precedent for all Nigerians. And also, Kanu is accusing these judges of, he said that the judiciary allowed him to be tried under law that doesn't exist, under dead laws that doesn't exist again, to prosecute him. This would be a scandalous abuse of power. That is just it. Now, imagine Kanu insists that no Nigerian citizen should ever be detained through adoption, as happened to him in Kenya, nor subjected to trial based on procedures that contradicts Nigeria's constitutional provision. Another thing he also accused the judges of, that's why he's asking for sanction, is he calls the cumulative action of Binta Nyako, Haruna and Garba Lawal, he said is a catalog of infractions, guys. This is what Kanu is saying. He said that's now, he stands as an unerasable blot on Nigerians' legal conscience. You guys know that he told Binta Nyako that she should recuse herself from his case because she's not obeying the law, she's not obeying the constitution. Guys, even all these judges, see, like I always say, Kanu's case is not a legal case, because no matter how look at Binta Nyako has dropped down. What is James Omotosho doing now? It's actually the same thing. It's actually the same. People thought that James Omotosho would do better. Just like in the beginning, Kanu started coming for trial without no adjournment. Every day, Kanu will be coming to court. But right now, imagine, since July, they adjourned it until October 10th. Kanu will be in court in October 10th to rule on the no case submission. The judge is going to rule on the no case submission. Sure, you can see that, Kanu's case is not a legal case. I don't know about you. I don't know what you think about this. Kanu's case is not a legal case. This pattern will still continue. This adjournment pattern, just wasting his time in court will still continue. This is something that, like I said, Kanu, the money for referendum is not a problem. It's not a crime. This is something that they need to Tinubu needs to sit down and release him and talk to him, because it's not just start agitating like that. You can see what is happening. So now, the problem is, why the Kanu is saying that this is the role of the NBA. The Nigerian Bar Association is the umbrella body of lawyers in Nigeria. It prides itself as a guardian of the rule of law, but in recent years, critics have accused the NBA of becoming, complicit, turning a blind eyes when politicians and even judges openly compromise justice. So by writing directly to the NBA, remember I said that, Kanu, just like in the headline on your screen, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu Petitions NBA wants 3 judges sanctioned, including Binta Nyako. So why Kanu directly wrote to NBA is, during their conference in Enugu, Kanu is throwing the challenge squarely at the lawyers. Will you defend the sanctity of the law, or will you remain silent in the face of injustice? He's not only asking the NBA to sanction these judges, but also urging them to publish a format report condemning judicial excesses, guys. So now it is not just about Kanu speaking. His legal team has also described the federal government's handling of his trial as nothing more than a theater, guys, with justice. Think about this word, guys. Theater. It means drama. They're just acting drama with Kanu. Acting, stage play. That's all. They're just playing with Kanu's case. They are essentially saying that what is happening in Abuja is not real justice, but a performance designed to create the illusion of fairness while hiding deliberate violation of due process. Guys, this resonates with ordinary Nigerians who have witnessed repeated government manipulation of court orders, selective justice, and ended adjournment whenever politically sensitive politically sensitive case are involved. You can see this is how they keep using adjournment and this adjournment, for politically sensitive cases as like this Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's own. Even IPOB has held a Canadian court ruling that allegedly declared Nigeria's ruling party, the APC and the PDP, a terrorist group. Why that judgment still remains controversial and is yet to be widely recognized within Nigeria. Imagine for a Canadian court to come out to say that APC and PDP is a terrorist group, just like the same way they called Kanu a terrorist group. They have not done any effort, to find out. They called IPOB a terrorist group, but look at it. Canadian courts came out. You know that Canada will not just come and release anything like that. They came out to say that APC and PDP is a terrorist group. Guys, there's no effort to, check what these people are saying. They just kept silent. If it's IPOB now, they'll go after them. They'll go after the leader. So imagine the judgment still remains controversial and is yet to be widely recognized within Nigeria. IPOB sees it as a moral victory and a validation of their long-standing claims that truly Nigerian state and its political parties operate with terrorism like method against its citizens. This is what Kanu has been saying for a long time, that these Nigerian political parties in Nigeria, and then these people operate with terrorism-like method against its citizens. And then by connecting his petition to broader international opinions, Kanu is deliberately trying to put Nigeria's judiciary on a trial, not just in the local court of law, but also in a global court of public opinion. Now, I want to take a look at what Marshal Okpara said. This man just broke everything down, everything you need to know, guys. Take a look, guys.
When the president calm down, the reason Nnamdi Kanu have a discussion with him. You have been having a discussion with bandits and the so-called repentant Boko Haram. Tell me the offense of Nnamdi Kanu, because he's agitating for self-determination, which is his own constitutional fundamental rights granted to him by the Constitution and the law.
Well, the government's angle is not because of the agitation, because they know that everyone has a right to agitate. But they said the way he was going about it, like and then people were being incited. Well, that's even not what I'm
What of the wife of the president incited people during the election? The wife of the president, he incited people that Igbo should go. What of the one of Lagos said that Igbo should go and fall into lagoon? What of those that came out and said that Igbos will not vote? If you are not voting for APC, you will not vote. What happened to them? Has anybody been arrested? That Nnamdi Kanu said something, then you now term that thing he said as is a terrorist, is a crime of terrorism. You charge him for terrorism. His own lawful organization that is registered in almost all the whole countries in America and Europe and Asia, and you now came to Nigeria, you term it a terrorist organization. Now you are now saying that now that IPOB is being recognized in almost all the whole countries in America and Europe, so you are now saying that America, France, Germany, they are recognizing a terrorist organization because you don't want anybody to agitate. You want to suppress anybody. If you talk, kill him, suppress him, jail him. In a country that is predicated on constitutional governance, it cannot work like that.
Okay, let's get back to the ministerial nomination of Bianca Ojukwu, because you said he took away one from Anambra and brought in another. But remember that the president took away the minister based on the KPI results that came out, which he was not even the one, that did the evaluation. It was the result given to him with which he did that, meaning that if actually the minister had performed, above board in the KPI, they wouldn't have had any reason to remove her rather.
Now, still on that ministerial list, we have 48 of them, am I right? And we have 36 states in this country, including FCT 37. So apart from Southeast, that have only 5, every other region have more than 6, apart from Southeast. Now, check since 1999, we have been having series of presidents. Let's use what is going on now. The president is from where? Vice is from where? Speaker is from where? Senate President is from where? CJN is from where? Court of Appeal President is from where? National Industrial Court President is from where? Chief Judge of Federal High Court is from where? And they are saying that the people of Southeast belongs to this country.
The chief of
are you sure you're not? I mean, it's just like what I said too. I mean, isn't it time we started to be less sentimental about this diversity?
We have to apply it now. We are saying that the only people that are qualified to hold this position, nobody from South is qualified. On what basis?
Are you saying that there's
but the chief of Naval Staff is from the Southeast? Huh? The chief of Naval Staff?
From where? I'm talking about the key position. Number 1 person, number 2 person, number 3 person, number 4 person, number 5 person. The key position, we have 3 arms of government: the executive, the judiciary, and the parliament. You can never see anybody from Southeast there. Now, the point we are talking about is that when I'm not even talking about, I'm in court about lopsided appointments.
Okay.
I can avail that my process because I did an intensive research in that process. File it, asking court to view whether this particular appointment, whether this particular government is in line with Federal Character Establishment Act, an act of National Assembly that said that you should carry everybody along. Section 14 of the Constitution also said that you should carry everybody along. And we are not doing all these things. You are telling me that, yes, now that you have removed Kennedy Hanele and you are now brought in Janko Juku, that the people of Southeast will jubilate. Are you talking to idiots? Look at the people that you are talking about. Check, let me start with the source. In football, the people that have made Nigeria proud are the people of Southeast. In commerce, in aviation industry, name it, in academics. They are from people of Southeast. But when it comes to power, they are not qualified. And we want them to be happy. Listen, let me tell you, like today that is Monday, go to Southeast. And my annoyance is that these things are avoidable for Christ's sake. The one at Niger, the reason and the Kanu, let us start addressing this issue. This early morning, somebody sent me a clip, something they posted, that they said from, I think they said next week, maybe the next 2 weeks, that there will be nothing like federal courts in the whole of Southeast. What do I mean by federal courts? Federal courts, National Industrial Court is the federal court. Federal High Court is the federal court. Court of Appeal is the federal court. Now, the people the judges that are there, most of them are not Igbos. Majority of them are not Igbos. How should you risk somebody to go and preside in the Court of Appeal over the judicial division, Oka Judicial Division, Enugu Judicial Division? How can you appoint somebody to go and preside in Federal High Court in the Southeast, National Industrial Court in the Southeast? And you are not even thinking about all this, and the judges are not even thinking about So the point we are talking about is that when there is a problem, look for a solution. Personally, somebody like us, we are not even, I'm defending Nnamdi Kanu, one of his lawyers. So when they say so you people are not doing what you're supposed to do, the person that is calling you, don't even know him. He's using a hidden number to call you. You don't even know what you're talking about. Court. The only thing that you went to court and you were unable to bring Nnamdi Kanu out. You're not even safe.
Okay, Maxwell, let me ask you this, because from what you're saying, I've also heard IPOB many times deny, allegations of being involved in some of the killings that happen in the Southeast and some of the, the ills that we see in the society. Even the sit-at-home in question, IPOB has also claimed that he has not asked anybody to sit at home. I don't know, get my point. So the point I'm making is that from what you're saying, it would look as if what you're actually trying to say is that it's because Nnamdi is being held,
yes,
that is why the ills in the society in the Southeast has escalated. Does it have anything to do with him? That is what you're saying?
Do you know why? Nnamdi Kanu, IPOB is his initiative. He established it, he organized it. Now, when you now kidnapped him or abducted him, and unlawfully, because the Supreme Court have said that he was unlawfully brought into this country, and you kept him incommunicado, everybody on his own. This one we kill, you said at IPOB. This one we maim, you said at IPOB. Everybody on his own. That's why I ask you the question, who is IPOB? The IPOB is Nnamdi Kanu. So Nnamdi Kanu, if Nnamdi Kanu is out, he will know who is who. Simon Ekpa will talk his own, Emma Powerful will talk his own, this one will talk his own, this one. Who is IPOB? That you are even talking. Simon Ekpa is in Finland. Emma Powerful, I don't know where he's operating from. Another person is operating from somewhere. Issuing threats. Just like the one somebody told me. I don't even know where that one is coming from. So the easiest way to do is the one that you know. Nnamdi Kanu. Then tell Attorney General, as he discontinue the charges against the president of Mieti Ala Kato, discontinue that of Showore, they are all terrorism. Tell them to discontinue that of Nnamdi Kanu, and allow Nnamdi Kanu to agitate. It is his right. I told you the other day.
You see, that's where the problem is, really. The guarantee, that there will not be problems, even if Nnamdi Kanu is. Because you're saying allow him to agitate, and he goes about it the way he used to, like, the government have actually feared. That may also create more problems, don't you think?
Let me tell you, there are some things that you asked me the other day whether they are talking about condition giving Nnamdi Kanu. I told you one question. I say, if you give Nnamdi Kanu condition that he feel after meeting up that condition, he will still live like a human being, so be it. But when you give him condition and you are removing that made him a human being, he will tell you no. What is that makes you a human being? That thing that makes you a human being is your ability to exercise your fundamental rights. And when somebody said, now I'm going to employ you here, I'll be paying you $500,000 every month, but you will not talk. You will not move out. You say, do away with your job. When somebody said, I'm going to release you, but I'll cut one of your hands. Say no. The agitation for self-determination is a fundamental right. And if you people fail to understand it, I can agitate that I need the Republic of Maxwell. Yeah. It is my right. Anybody can agitate. I don't even need crowd to follow me. It is when you now feel that you have gotten the necessary need the necessary qualities, then so be it. It is now left for the president who believe in democracy, who believe in government of the people by the people, to apply an initiative. What is the initiative? Release the person. Start addressing all those issues that gave rise to this agitation. It has been there. Uwazuke was agitating during Obasanjo. A lot of people were agitating. So now that you have arrested, you come down Uwazuke that time. Nnamdi Kanu came up. Now that you have arrested Nnamdi Kanu, someone is there. I think this data from Ned Nwoko was telling you that even if you arrest Simon Ekpa today, another Simon Ekpa will come out. So the issue there is that address all those issues.
So for you, it's not about ministerial appointment.
No. That one. Okay, that is a complete distraction. It
shouldn't even come in.
Okay. After coming in now, let Bianca come and address the Igbos in Enugu.
All right.
So guys, you can see that Kanu's case is going beyond, what you expected. This is something that the what was his name? The federal government is supposed to, address. There's no need, trying to force or force anybody to this. That is just it. They say he committed treason and he's a terrorist. Till date, guys, even forever, you will not still see, because we expected these people to come and show where Kanu was with people, but nothing. We're actually surprised where this case is going to with the way they are. That is to tell you that this is no more a legal something. They know what is behind. They know that Kanu is an honest man and his movement is not illegal. They just want to keep him because he knows that he's their game spoiler. That is just it, because I cannot say where a man did not do anything. You're even caging him while his trial is going on. Somebody that is having medical complication, you're caging him while his trial is going on. No. Even terrorists in Nigeria, people that buy people on a daily basis, they have not even in any way kept in prison, for a talk more of. You can see what is happening, guys. So Kanu's case is not a legal case. No matter how he keeps coming to court, I feel that's not what is going to release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. That is just it. So now you can see now Kanu is asking for sanction of judges. Is this how they'll keep doing this? This is how, let me tell you, even NBA, is it that they don't know that Kanu was adopted? Is it that they don't know that these judges, they filed or went against the constitution? Is it that they don't know? They know all these things, but they have kept silent to tell you that this case is no longer, is no longer how will I put it? It's no longer it's not a legal case. They know why they are keeping him there. That is just it. So now the truth is that if NBA complies and investigates and find merits, it could trigger an unprecedented move against sitting judges, something rarely seen in Nigeria's history. And then if the NBA ignores it, the body risks being branded as complicit in judicial corruption and political persecution. For ordinary Nigerians, this case raises a chilling question. If someone as high profile as Mazi Nnamdi Kanu can be adopted, detained, and allegedly tried under repealed laws, what chance does the average citizen stand against abuse of power? Nobody is safe in this country. If someone can be adopted and then still kept in detention, you did not even go after people that are adopted. It's just like now, an ordinary citizen was kidnapped. You did not go after the kidnappers. You actually went for the person that was kidnapped. I don't know if I'm making sense. That is exactly what they are doing to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Kanu was kidnapped. You did not go after the people that kidnapped him. You went after the victim, trying him under dead laws, the laws that doesn't exist again. Law that is this taking. So at the heart of all this issue is a battle for Nigeria's soul, a battle between the rule of law and the rule of power. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu petition is not just a cry for his personal freedom. It's a demand that the Nigerian judiciary be held accountable, the judges who twist the law be exposed, and then the Nigerian Bar Association raised from silence to action. That is just it. Now, the question now is, will the NBA raise the occasion, or will it once again prove that in Nigeria justice is for sale? That is just it. That is just it. So now, over the years, the Nigerian judiciary has often been accused of bending to political pressure, from the annulment of election in the 1990s to controversial ruling of and the presidential election. Nigerians has seen judges compromise justice. A lot of things going on. You see, the judiciary system in Nigeria is finished. They have bought them, like it is finished. Kanu's petition is not isolated, guys. It falls into a pattern of judicial compromise where judges should, shield those in power while coming down hard on, dissenters, guys. Imagine you shield those in power and then you come down on, or you come down for, you go after innocent ones. Multiple courts, including the Court of Appeal in October 2022. Now, Nigeria's judiciary system is known for different. Look at the election. Look at the election that has been conducted in Nigeria. None is free and fair. But you will see, they will back themselves up the judiciary because they've bought them. Multiple courts, including the Court of Appeal in October. Okay, let us talk about this thing. You guys know that they have already told Kanu to be released. Yes, appeal court discharged him. But what happened? A multiple courts, including the Court of Appeal in October 2022, ordered Kanu's release after ruling that his extradition from Kenya was illegal. Yet the government ignored these rulings, and the judges who failed to enforce them are part of the reason Kanu is why Kanu calls it judicial misconduct. Nigerians are asking, if court orders are ignored with impunity, what is the value of the law? See, these people have made constitution look like mere paper. And if an ordinary citizen go against this law, they will jail the person. But them, they can't even, if they go against it, they walk free. That is what we are seeing in this country. Kanu is allegedly being tried under the Terrorism Act of 2011. Even though it was repealed, it has expired and replaced by the 2022 Terrorism Prevention and Prohibition Act. Using the repealed law is not just a procedural error, it is a constitutional nullity, guys. It's null and void. This raises suspicions that the judges were deliberately using expired laws to weaken his defense and stretch his detention. That is why Kanu is asking for their sanction, saying that even Justice Binta Nyako should be sanctioned. Nigeria's government broke international law by adopting Kanu at first from Kenya without following extradition treaties. Kenya had extradition treaties, but why is it that it was not used for Kanu? You can see, this act alone makes every trial following it illegal under international law, yet the judges never condemned this violation. See, Nigerian government know all these things. The judges as well know all these things, but they are running away from the truth. They don't want to do the needful. So for me, the only thing that can help Kanu is taking his case to an international court outside Nigeria. They should just go there because they know all these things. They know all these things. They know that he was adopted. Why would you be, persecuting someone that is adopted? Does it even make sense? You let people that kidnapped him, you're persecuting someone. No, it's no more prosecution, it's now persecution, guys, because you can't even allow his trial to go the normal way it's supposed to go. You can't even allow his trial to go the normal way it's supposed to go. You have seen with countless adjournments, keeping Kanu there for years. I think this year is going to make it five years for Kanu in detention. So you can see, instead that they allowed proceedings to continue, which strengthens Kanu claims of judicial misconduct. Judicial integrity is the foundation of democracy. When judges are seen as biased, the public loses faith in the court and begins to seek justice through alternative means, sometimes through violence. Kanu warns that ignoring such infractions would deepen lawlessness because citizens who lose trust in courts if they lose trust in court, may turn to help self militancy or anarchy. It might just cause chaos. That is just it. So you can see the NBA has often shied away from confronting high-level judicial misconduct, preferring political correctness over justice. If the NBA ignores this petition, if they ignore this petition, it risks confirming suspicious that has become a rubber stamp for the ruling class rather than a protector of the oppressed. So Nigeria will always be the way it is. The way we have been seeing Nigeria for so many years now, that is the way to continue to be, because this is it. They don't, the court judiciary is biased, even during the election, everything, they make constitution look like make paper. This country is lawless. They don't obey the law, but they preach to other countries to obey the law. So you can see what is going on in Nigeria. If Nigeria keep moving like this, imagine someone that came to do his legal right. This is the legal right of Kanu. This is what he's supposed to do. Like, this is his legal right. It's not a crime that he came out to demand for self-determination, because he was having persecuted. Now, if you have not listened to what Kanu said, what his lawyer said about his adoption and everything, just take a clip and I'll be right back immediately. Take a look, guys.
So today I'm wearing two hats. I'm speaking on behalf of Nnamdi Kanu. I'm also speaking on my own behalf. My name is Haruna Tsammani. I'm the special counsel to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and the Indigenous People of Biafra. And I'm speaking to you from a location in Nigeria. The man, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, is well known. He's everywhere. He's on Wikipedia. He's an internationally acclaimed freedom fighter. But there's just a few things I need to tell you about him. What brought him to limelight was the formation of the Indigenous People of Biafra in the United Kingdom in 2012. Simultaneously, he also founded Radio Biafra. And these two organizations were aimed at one thing: liberation for the people of Biafra, or restoration of the former Republic of Biafra that went defunct in 1970. The right to self-determination is a right that is guaranteed internationally, domestically, and continentally. It's within the black letters of Nigerian law at Article 20 of the African Charter on Human and People's Rights. The right to self-determination is guaranteed. So the formation of IPOB did not break any law. Not laws of United Kingdom, not international law, not Nigerian law. But guess what? When Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, who was born in Nigeria, but who acquired British citizenship later on, came to Nigeria in October 2015, the government of President Muhammadu Buhari, which had come to power in May, decided to arrest him. He was not arrested between 2012 and 2015 because the government of the day at that time understood that self-determination is not a crime. But the government that came into power in 2015 in May decided that self-determination is going to be treated as a criminal activity. So he was arrested in Lagos. He was charged for treason, also for insulting the president and illegal importation of radio equipment. 3 charges. The treason one, they split it into 2, treason by himself and treason by conspiracy. This thing went on from 2015 until April 2017, when he was eventually granted bail. So he was detained for nearly 18 months. After granting him bail, he returned to his ancestral home in the southeastern part of Nigeria, and he was enjoying his bail when suddenly, between 10 September and 14 September 2017, the Nigerian army, without any justification whatsoever, levied lethal, massive military operations against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's ancestral home. That day, he was sitting at home with so many people, his family members, including his 2 elderly parents. The attack was lightning, it was a bleakridge, it was massive, and it was not the type of an attack you will expect a national military force to levy on a civilian location. But they did. At the end of the day, 28 people lost their lives. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu sustained injuries. His parents sustained injuries as well. But somehow, by the grace of God, they all managed to escape. From there, the rest is history. And because there was a national and international manhunt for him by the security forces, which rules of engagement was to shoot, not to maim. If you see Nnamdi Kanu, if you encounter him anywhere, shoot not to maim. Not to maim, but shoot to kill. That's what they went there to do on 10 September, but they didn't succeed. But it went on. They went on in a manhunt. So Nnamdi Kanu was forced to flee the municipal boundaries of Nigeria in search of safe haven overseas. Eventually, in May 2021, he settled in Kenya. He entered Nairobi and settled in Kenya somewhere. He never knew that Nigerian security forces, the international branch of it, were laying in wait for him. They laid an ambush for him. So on 19th June 2021, he drove himself to Jomo Kenyatta International Airport on a personal errand. As soon as he drove into the parking lot and alighted from his vehicle, several well-armed security men suspected to be of a mixture of Nigerian and Kenyan security forces swooped on him, grabbed him, abducted him, and put him forcibly in a vehicle and drove away. Well, they didn't take him to the police station. They didn't take him to immigration because he was a foreigner. He should have been taken to immigration. They didn't take him to any official law enforcement facility. They took him to a secret location in Nairobi, a non-official secret location. So in effect, they disappeared him. And they kept him at that secret location for a whole 8 days. And those 8 days he endured horrendous torture. All these are matters of record between the various tribunals and courts before whom this matter has been brought. I cannot begin to give you all the details. Horrendous torture in violation of basic human rights, in violation of the laws of Kenya, Nigeria, and the international community. When Nnamdi Kanu was abducted on 19th June 2021, the proper thing that should have been done is to take him to a police station, from there to a court. And then if you wanted him back in Nigeria, you subject him to what is called extradition proceedings. This is a basic tenet of the law that you see in the laws of any nation. Kenya has an extradition act to which Mazi Nnamdi Kanu should have been subjected. But guess what? They didn't do that. They rather disappeared him for 8 days, tortured him to their heart's content. And on 27th June, they secretly brought him out from this location and took him through the back doors, evading Kenyan immigration, direct to the tarmac of Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, Nairobi, where a private plane was waiting. They bundled him into the plane, chained him to the chair, and everything. He endured 5-6 hours flight from Nairobi to Kenya in the most excruciating circumstances. They arrived in Nigeria late in the evening and the plane flew back to Nairobi. They took him to the headquarters of the National Intelligence Agency in Abuja, where he spent the first night with all the lights left on to assure his maximum discomfort. The following day, they transferred him to the headquarters of Directorate of State Security in Abuja. And on the third day, they brought him before the Federal High Court in Abuja. The Federal High Court was well aware that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has counsel of record. It was an open case, it wasn't a new case, a pre-existing case. But the Federal High Court decided to conduct the arraignment in violation of his constitutional right to counsel, and that arraignment led to the indefinite detention with which we are struggling today.
So guys, you can see, how they adopted Kanu from Kenya. Kanu was supposed to, in fact, they are supposed to subject him to when they adopted him, in fact, or when they, according to what the lawyer said, he said that he went for errands after the military invasion of his home in 2017 in Abia State, in his hometown. He fled to Kenya. He narrowly escaped and then went to Kenya to settle. And then, the Nigerian, or according to what he said those people that came and adopted him are allegedly Nigerian officials or security operative, and then Kenya security operative as well. They came, according to what this lawyer said. He said that they kind of went for errands, to the airport for some errand, and then as immediately he alighted from his vehicle, they swooped into him and then they dragged him, bundled him, and took him to a vehicle, and they drove to an unknown location in Nairobi, Kenya. They kept him there for days, tortured him and everything. Imagine what is going on. Guys, will you tell me that Kenya doesn't know all this? In fact, after they kept him there for 8 days, guys, the next day, after 8 days, they brought him out and then they drove him to the airport where already a private jet was already waiting for them. Guys, immediately they bundled Kanu into the private jet and then they zoomed off. They chained him to the ground. He was not even in a comfortable, he was not comfortable. He stayed uncomfortable in the flight for 5 hours, guys, before they landed in the night in Nigeria, Abuja. And then immediately they came down from the private jet. They zoomed, the private jet went back to Kenya. You can see that Kenya, they are complicit to this too, because who arranged the private jet in Kenya and everything, that's to tell you what is going on. And then Kanu is already arguing this fact. He's saying that he wants judges to be sanctioned, asking that how can he be adopted and be prosecuted? How can someone be adopted? Instead of you to go for those people that adopted him, you went for the victim. Does it even make sense at all? Kanu was supposed to be, he was, so even if you wanted to arrest him, first of all, you don't just adopt him and bring him back to Nigeria like that. They would have subjected him to extradition procedures, which, that's a trial that he's going to be going for until finally they extradite him legally. Not coming to forcibly bundle him as if he's a terrorist. Even terrorists, they don't treat them like this. So you see, Kanu is just arguing these facts. How can you adopt him and still prosecute him? He did not go after people that adopted him. You're going after the victim. Guys, you can see the case now. So Kanu is asking for judges that could not recognize these facts, to be sanctioned because they have violated the law when they know that he was adopted. They didn't go after people that adopted him. They did not even call out these Kenyan officials that, just playing games with Kanu. Do you not see? I just believe that these people, they're not going after Kanu because of he's a terrorist. Because Kanu is not a terrorist. If he's a terrorist, the world would have known even before now that Kanu is a terrorist. He's not a terrorist. Even the movements, people are saying it. He's not a terrorist. That's justice. So Kanu is saying that, these 3 judges be sanctioned for violating the law. They're not even obeying the constitution. He has petitioned NBA to sanction these 3 judges. So let's see what will happen. Let's see if NBA will comply. Honestly, we're not even expecting much from NBA because right from time, they have been silent in cases like this. They have been silent. So let's see what will happen. Remember that Kanu is going to be in court 10th October. We can't wait to see what the judge is going to rule on. According to what they said, the judge is going to rule on no case submission. We can't wait to see the outcome of his trial on the 10th of October. So guys, thank you for joining me in this live section. Thank you for staying with me, and I'll see you guys next time.